everybody? Welcome back to an all-new TAETRO live stream. Thank you for joining me today. Very fun and important stream I think we have today, talking all about finishing your tracks. So a lot of the times on these streams I'll start a track from scratch, and I think one thing that we all struggle with is actually making a track, finishing it, putting it out, getting it ready to put out. So I wanted to take some time and work on that today and kind of demonstrate some of my techniques for finishing an arrangement of a track, like taking a track from a loop to what could be a finished arrangement. So we'll see how far we get today. I think we'll be able to do it. If you're watching live, thank you so much. I see you all in chat. Thank you for being here. If you are watching this later as a video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know you're watching later and let everybody know the timestamp at which the video actually starts. Thank you for being here. I see some members in the chat like Amelia and Suru and Per Lemming Wittis. Thank you for the 11 months. I even saw my mom in chat. Amazing. My dad is in chat as well, amongst other regular community members. Thank you for being here. So what's going on, Brian, Taylor, Dan, PBB Beats, Panda Cat, Gorkum, Kitty Cat, hello. What's good, Kartik? Thank you for being here. Uncle Ted, hello. Uncle Ted says, the past few days have been wild ups and downs, and I'm finally going to be sitting down to produce tonight. The stream is perfect timing. Excellent. D-Sobs, thank you for being here. Hello. Ted Obito, hello. I hope you're all having a good holiday today. Very special day. But before we get too deep into it, I'll also say that I think I'm going to drop a new rant at the end of today's stream. So if you stick around to the end, I'll put that rant public as soon as we finish. Do that live at the end here, so stay tuned for that. And again, if you are watching later, that rant is probably already live, so check it out. We're back on the Yellow Beanie Gang, if you haven't noticed. Glad to be back on that grind. I want to take a moment to thank everybody who became a member last week or rejoined as a member last week, because as you all know, we actually have a track review stream coming up on Saturday, and that is always open to members. So if you want to become a member at any tier, you can hit the join button down below. Literally any tier, the lowest tier. Support the channel, join our Discord community, and you can get your music played on stream and reviewed this Saturday. I'll give you some feedback on your track. If you want to do that, hit the join button. It should be a fun time. Mark your calendar, Saturday, 12 p.m. PST. But for now, let me take a minute and thank everybody who rejoined within the past week. That is, of course, this is no way to view this. That is, of course, we got Extreme Kraken, who's been a member for 2 months. Thank you for that VIP membership, rejoining 1 day ago. Shana Sky, joining the community for 3 months. Appreciate you. Jeffrey at the VIP tier. Thank you. White, thank you so much for being here as well. 5 days upgraded to VIP. We love that. VIP membership gets you some free sample packs. When I release my new one, it will be coming soon. There's also a couple free small tiny sample packs available for everybody at any tier. Philip, thank you for joining at the VIP tier. Andre, sorry, I can't read. Thank you for joining the community. Error77, welcome to VIP tier. Joined 7 days ago. LNZY, Bishop91 joining from his new account, of course, or his other account, I should say. T. Henricus. Oh, by the way, Bishop91 been on the grind doing some streams himself on the machine, making some beats. So that's very cool. Wonder if you all have checked out his streams. T. Henricus, thank you for the 2 months at the VIP tier. Appreciate you. And Ivan Rosa for the VIP, joining 7 days ago. Appreciate you. Welcome everybody. And we are very close to 250 members. So if it is possible at all for you to become a member and help us hit that 250 member goal, hit that join button. It is worth it. You get some free samples, you join our Discord community, and you get to submit music for this Saturday's track review stream to get some valuable feedback on your tracks, or just get your music played to the audience on stream. Either of those are valid. What's up, Superman? Seeing you here. Rashane is here as well. We love all those member badges too. So don't forget, the longer you're a member, your badge evolves. So you're going to see a lot of that Mars colorway. Those are the longest members. Those people have been members for 11 to 12 months. Common Beats is even here. Sheesh. What's up? TI80 Mark. What's up? I've been dropping in on Bishop streams and again. Nice. Is it important to write a song about your own feelings or about things you want to get? I think you can write a song about anything. We talk about subject matter though today as well. Even though I'm going to be working on instrumental music, I think it's a good question. Long time no see. White. Yes, nice to see you. Joseph Ray, nice to see you as well. A lot of exciting things have been happening. If you guys are following me on Instagram, I was posting some photos. I had a big shoot on Monday and Tuesday. Something that you will all see in March. It's very exciting. I can't believe it. I'm stoked for it. I also teased something on my Instagram story today. I'm working with Rolly on something new. That's unrelated to the shoot that I did on Monday and Tuesday. But I'm working with Rolly on something new. Check out my story if you want a sneak peek at that. You do want to be following me on Instagram and Twitter, though, to be keeping up with the daily updates. As I said, today is a holiday. Very important day. Let's just do a quick shout out. Of course, it is Rose's birthday, 25th birthday. Happy birthday, Rose. She posted a cover on her YouTube channel, so shout out to Rose. What can I say? Happy birthday, Rose. Round of applause for that. Very special holiday here in the TAETRO household. How's your fish? The fish are doing well. I have yet to fix the camera, however. I apologize. It's been very busy. The way my schedule works is like, oh God, copyright music, don't play. Okay, whew, that was close. We'll just kill the background music. The way my schedule works is I do a lot of things and I stack it all very carefully. And once you add one new thing, like the shoot I had to do Monday, Tuesday, it doesn't throw everything off, but it just makes it a little bit harder to get everything done. So things I wanted to get done, like fixing that overhead camera so you all can see the koi fish. It just hasn't happened yet. I'm trying. Yes. It's a very important holiday, Amelia. Not just in the U.S., internationally, I would say. Mainly in the U.S. and Korea, I guess you could say. And Australia, of course. But hey, Blackout, what's good? Nice to see you. All right, is that all the housekeeping I have to do today? All right, so don't forget. Track review stream on Saturday. Rant video dropping as soon as this stream is over. Sneak peek at something I'm working on with Rolly is on my Instagram story right now. And something very cool is coming in March with, actually, I don't think I can say who with, but it's a very cool shoot that we did the past 2 days. Very cool. Out in the van doing some cool travel beat making stuff. So stay tuned for that. Can't wait to show you all. But of course, the reason that we are gathered here today. Well, first timer, walk into the sky. Welcome. Thank you for being here. If you are in the chat and it is also your first time in the chat, say hello. We would love to welcome you. Okay. So I got Ableton Live open here. I got my Kai and Became Mini as well, I should say. Let's just get that straight. Okay. And then, like I said, yeah, we're working in Ableton Live today, as usual, my DAW of choice. However, I think the techniques we'll learn today will work for you regardless of what DAW you use and regardless of what genre you work in. So I, of course, worked on this lo-fi beat. And actually, I made this beat on stream last week. So you can go onto the channel, look at the videos, and find last week's stream 7 days ago and find the process for creating this stream. You're using the Lacy hard drive. I've used Lacy hard drives for a long time for big storage stuff. For my regular day-to-day use, I use a smaller Samsung SSD though. All right, so what we have here is a simple 8-bar loop. Let me play it for you. Just some smooth lo-fi. You all let me know about the audio levels and stuff. More track, less track, more voice. So yeah, we made this on stream last week. Nice, Eduardo, that's awesome. So this is just a whole mood. This track is just a whole mood, right? But as you can see, it's not really a whole track. It's probably what, like 30 seconds or less? 8 bars, just looping. How the heck are we even gonna take this and make a finished song out of it? That is the big question. Amelia asks, how's some of your Beattober beats going? Are you working on them into full tracks? That's the big problem. It's because there's a huge problem with finishing tracks, and it's very, very difficult, especially trying to keep the content schedule going. And I'm sure you all have things going on in your life that are making it difficult for you to finish tracks. So that's the purpose of today's stream. It's not only for you all, but it's also for myself. The thing is about music is I thoroughly enjoy the process of making something new. It's not that I don't like releasing music. I love releasing music, of course. The audience completes the work in a lot of ways. But my ultimate love is just like sitting and making something. So I get caught up in doing that a lot, which causes me to be slow with releasing. You make so many tracks in such a less amount of time. Don't you get overwhelmed by it sometimes? Because like I make one track in a month or two and it still gets difficult. Yeah, it is overwhelming. It becomes more overwhelming to finish when you make so many tracks. So that's another aspect of this as well. Since I make so many tracks, whether it's for a stream or whether it's for a video, and a lot of the time it's to demonstrate for like educational purposes. It's always easier to move on to the next thing, demonstrate a new thing with a new track, etc. So that is a battle. But apply that to your own life, right? Like you make music, things get in the way, life gets in the way. Sometimes it feels like a lot of work to sit down and finish something, but it's actually not that difficult. So what can we do if we have an 8-bar loop, which by the way, let me just break this down really quickly so you don't look at this and think it's like overly complicated. We have the just drums, right? Simple kick, snare, hi-hats with a couple little bells and whistles. You can see like these hits only happening very occasionally. Little reverby kind of hits, this little reverse swell. You see these very sparse hits down here, and then the core beat being kick, snare, hi-hat. So that's the drums. What do we have next? Here, this is very sparse as well, one single note. It's sort of this mood-setting flute sound. We have... Why did I just sound like that? We have Sanjay C's Rhodes. Sanjay C, of course, many of you know him. Fellow YouTuber, musician. A big backlog of partially completed tracks. Cool, cool, cool. So this is the way to. This is the stream to be in. Just a nice dreamy Rhodes instrument here. Labs, I believe. What instrument is this actually? This is like just some organic textures, wind and thunder. Basically a pad sound, playing some chords. More labs here. What is this? More atmosphere. The whole point of me showing you this. Oh, and this nice little string instrument, which is like a guitar. Literally playing 4 notes, and then a bass line, which is the rock bottom guiding harmony of the whole thing. Brian said put some rain effects. We actually already have a field recording here as well, which is something that I recorded of some waves, just some beach wind and waves. So the point of showing you that is to say this is not very complicated. You all can get to this point very, very easily. And you probably have lots of beats that have the core parts, right? Some drums, some chords, a melodic element, and a bass line. That's all this is here. It's just spread across a bunch of different atmospheric instruments. So actually at the end of last week's stream, we started working on an arrangement. So let me zoom out and hop over here. And don't get too scared. I'm not going to redo this arrangement process, but I am going to show you. Everything here in this about 3 minutes long, it's really probably closer to like 250. Everything you see right here is all content from this 8-bar loop. It's a little lackluster though, because we did this kind of fast at the end of last week's stream. But nonetheless, we do have an existing arrangement that we are going to improve today. But you can see the strategy here is simply to take each of those loops and introduce them one by one. Field recording, atmosphere, coming up with this eerie flute. Of course, we can kind of constitute this as an intro. Let's start labeling the track. This will help us later when we're trying to lay out these different sections. And here the beat drops. I'm going to use terms that are from like a traditional songwriting perspective, like verse, chorus, etc. Continuation. One thing to point out, what we actually have here is this guitar instrument. I accidentally dropped the bass line onto it. And when I did that, it actually came up with a nice, simple guitar line. What's up, Frin? Hello. What's up, Odasor? Thank you for joining us. Appreciate that, Odasor. Moving is not fun. So nothing major has really changed as of yet. I think part of this will be to keep things simple. We do see something's going to change here at track at bar 23, so let's keep an eye on that. But again, remembering that all of this content comes from this 8-bar loop, introducing pieces one by one, field recording, atmosphere, eerie flute, followed by a new section where the eerie flute goes away. We keep the atmosphere, we add a guitar, and eventually we build in a bass line. The drums even evolve, right? It starts as just kick, snare, and then adds a hi-hat. Drop the bass so hard it turned into a guitar. Exactly. So here we have a nice solid section. Let me see. We'll call this is a section right here, right? Eventually that guitar goes away. So it's not about just adding things, but it's also about taking things away. We're not looping. Let's go on to the next section. Okay, so that's a brief moment where the drums just drop out momentarily, and you all heard that we introduced a new instrument, the Rhodes. Now, the main bass line or anything hasn't really changed, so we could call this verse 2 if we wanted to. And these are kind of bad examples of terminology to use here, but actually on that note, let's change this. Instead of calling it verse chorus, which of course you could if you were doing a more traditional song type of thing. How the heck do I rename this? Let's call it A. Like that's the A section. And then unless we totally depart from the content of A, we're going to kind of keep calling it A, but we're going to call it like A1. So it's like an evolved version of A. What's up, Cleep? Thank you, Drea Sanchez, for watching my videos from Peru. I appreciate you. Great. So yeah, again, just adding more elements here. We added this additional atmospheric element as well as the roads there, and a couple more percussion elements. Moving on, it seems like there's a change here where everything comes in. Great. Everything comes together. And you see, if I make this small, you can sort of see the overall shape is like this like growing triangle of density. And when I say density, I mean instruments coming in. Let me just move some of these tracks that aren't being used to the bottom so everything's a bit closer together. You can move all that to the bottom. So everything you see here at the top. Growing density. The track is basically fading in. So we get to this point, which is pretty much the climax of the track, where nearly everything is playing. And again, we haven't really departed from the original loop. Oh, that would be A2. I'm just gonna call that A2, and this is helping me see that this track does not have a lot of diversity in sections, which is actually kind of okay for this genre, but maybe we can make it a little more intricate. Hi, Drummy Geo. Hi, Chris Sobrero. Did you hear Blackpink's Rosé's cover of Viva La Vida? Of course I did. I have one of the top comments on the video if you go look at it. It's a holiday, Chris, right? Happy birthday, Rosé. All right, so this here, less of a full section. Obviously, we'll call that the outro. Okay, so just understanding the anatomy of your beats and checking on that is helpful. Because if you have sections that perhaps go too long or don't serve a certain purpose, don't evolve at all, then you know your track is going to be kind of perhaps boring. Hi, the counselor. Nice to see you. Kian, hello. I'm glad you caught a live stream. Hello, Ivan, as well. Thank you for being here. So now we understand our general structure, our first attempt at an arrangement. Oh, hello. Who is that has become a member that this YouTube thing made my font colors all weird? Is that Ilya Petrov? Welcome to the community, Ilya. Thank you so much for being here. New member. Welcome. We stand a birthday queen, exactly. Okay, so to recap, and we're going to breeze right through this because it's already done. You take your loops, which we have all here. Imagine this is your project. You're stuck with just your loops. And then you start spreading them across the timeline in a way that makes sense. I choose to do it in a way that it evolves gradually over time. There are obviously other approaches. You could start with a high density and fade out and then build up again. Lots of ways you can approach it. But one thing that is especially hard for me, and I think for many producers, is to build up now a contrasting section. Because from what we see is we have our intro and our outro, but then we have A, A1, and A2. There's no contrasting section. There's no B section. So it makes our track quite simple. A good place to maybe put a B section might be right before A2. Or, actually, let's take a look at this for a second. I even wonder if this section is too long, because that's another important part about labeling your sections. We notice that this section is pretty long, longer than the other sections further down. Could we make it long? Could we make it shorter? Adil Constantine in the chat. Thank you for being here. It's a nice sparse intro, but could we make it shorter? How many bars do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's about 4 extra bars there, it seems. So what would happen if instead, let's delete these extra 4 bars. Delete time. And now we have a solid 8 bars there. It's kind of odd that we went for 12. Good. I think that's a decent transition. And now that leaves us room. We have this nice gradual evolving beginning, but it's time to add a B section. And this is the hardest part, chat, and this is what I'm going to struggle the most with today, and what maybe you might struggle the most with as well. You notice I brought my brackets over here to this empty space, and this is just kind of a little short way to do this. Maybe there's a better way. I'm going to cut time, essentially cutting a blank 8 bars. And what I want to do is paste that 8 bars right before A2. So now what this creates for us is an empty space for us to work. Maybe it's going to be longer than 8 bars, but let's start with just this for now. And let's call this B. So at least at the very least now, we have a place for our B section. We have a place and a set length for our B section. And I think the other important thing to note here is too, that this process of finishing a track, arranging it, creating a B section, comes after the process of actually creating like the core of the track. We've already selected sounds, we've already built up some melodies, we've established a key, we've established a tempo, all that stuff. If you try to do too much of this stuff too soon, it will overwhelm you. And I would also recommend, like similar to what we're doing now, doing this in a second sitting, not trying to do this all in one shot. Of course, sometimes it comes fast and it comes easy, but if you take one session and just come up with your main ideas, maybe even create a basic arrangement from there, and then come back to it with the sole purpose of finishing that arrangement, I think you'll have much more success rather than feeling down that you didn't finish it all in one shot, because that's just a crazy expectation to set on yourself. So where we're at right now is we're going to come off that A1 section. Okay, and my initial approach here, actually, first of all, I realized that the field recording got cut when I did that cut time thing, so I'm just going to do this and stretch it back out again. So that field recording is going to remain. The counselor says switching up drum syncopation, not just adding or removing layers to the existing groove, but switching the groove is one thing I always try. Fewer kicks, more kicks, halftime, etc. Yes, that is a good approach. Maybe we'll get into some of that in a bit. But my first approach for this B section is to go to the bass line. And I can look at our previous bass line here. Let's fold that down here. We have that basic kind of descending dum, 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 dum. But basically it amounts to going from that C to that G sharp. Of course, there's other flourishes. We walk down to it here, but we always land on these two notes. And that's descending, obviously, right? We're going down. So if a B section is supposed to be contrasting, it's supposed to be different from the previous A section. Let's try to take this in the opposite direction, and let's try to do an ascending bass line. Simple one here using the same notes would be something like this. 2, 3, 4. And actually, here's another thing for starting a B section. Whether we're going to keep this or not, let's maintain one element from the previous section. Let's maintain the snare. That seems pretty safe. That basic snare pattern to keep time for us in this B section. We might change that later. but at least we have that there to play along with. All right, I'm gonna lay this down. It's a very simple bass line, and again, what it's doing is the opposite of what we were previously doing. Instead of being a descending bass line, it is now an ascending bass line. Again, contrasting. So let's record that. 1, 2, ready, go. One more time around with a little variation. Great. All right. So let's take a look at that. Bass line is added. And the reason I start with a bass line is because the bass line for me is sort of the rock bottom guide for the harmony of the entire track. Let's listen to this transitioning into that really quick. Okay, one thing I have to turn on, which I turned off the other day, is I believe it's called like MIDI follow or something, and I'm not gonna be able to find it super quick, so bear with me for a moment, chat. I'm just gonna turn this off for a performance thing, but it's helpful in the production setting. Count in bit depth. No. Oh, you know what? It's not in there. It is in probably edit. It's called MIDI follow. Shout at me if you see it. Options, chase MIDI notes. That's what it's called. Okay. That just allows it so that like if I start in the middle of this bass note, it'll play the bass note. Okay, so transitioning from here. Hi, Andre Von Zark. Hello, Karina. Hello, Sarah. Okay, so that bass line makes sense. This transition makes sense. Last thing I'll do here is just make these, maybe quantize it a little, and then make these notes legato so they perfectly end and start. And now we can start building on top of this bass line. The bass line is the foundation. And amazingly, since we've done all that work of finding the instruments that we want to use in our track, we can now just go back and reuse some instruments and play over this. I don't know if I totally like that, but that's the first idea that came to my head. And for some reason, the MIDI capture button is not highlighted. Let's just try that again. Again, just playing some melodic thing. No. Here it is. 1. All right, and you see me struggling, right? Like this is a struggle. We don't really know where this is going yet. Oh, another new member taking us one step closer to 250. Not only that, chat, it's a huge supporter. Thank you so much to my friend, Chain Pick. Welcome to the community. Make sure you link your YouTube account to your Discord account from within Discord so you can join our community. Thank you so much for supporting at the huge supporter tier. That helps a lot. Thank you. Welcome, my friend. I appreciate that. It means a lot. So, following that theme of contrasting ideas, this instrument was previously playing long tones, and now we've got it playing this shorter melody. So let's see what we can build on top of this. I will definitely want some longer chord elements though. So I'm thinking, and again, we are using instruments that we've already used, but the B section is a great place to introduce new sounds as well. So hold that thought because we haven't done that yet, but I think that we will. Now, one thing we haven't done a ton of stuff. Dominic Fike, even Frank. Why don't we all out of my studio? That's dope, my friend. Thank you. Appreciate that. Big fan of Dominic Fike stuff and Euphoria. So that's very cool. So let's now take that, again, that method or that idea that we're going to contrast everything that came before and take the Rhodes and perhaps play some chords. So I'm just going to try something. And you're going to see me struggling, not really sure if it's coming together. You're probably listening saying, not sure if it's coming together. But hey, when we get to the end, I'm pretty confident that we're going to have something good. So remember this moment when we get to the end. 4. All right. That was okay. The second half was better. Let me just review that. There was a question in the chat. How do you decide what to layer and what not to? That all comes down to just thinking about the purpose of each sound. Is a sound adding a melody? Is it part of the harmony? You know, the chords? Is it part of the rhythm? Is it a counter melody? You know, all those things. Is it adding to the atmosphere? I want to pretty much check all those boxes unless I purposefully want to leave something out. So when I'm thinking about these instruments, it's like, okay, we've added a melody. We have our bass line. We didn't have any chord elements yet. So what could I take and turn into chords? I think what's likely to happen, we'll start shaping this rhythm structure. We might even add another rhythmic section. But right now, you're probably thinking, this sounds pretty thin. But a core foundation is certainly here. Let me just double check this. You notice that bass line didn't come in on one? It's because I made a mistake. Okay. And another thing we have to check. I keep going over the bar line. That's what's happening. Good. Okay. One moment. That's fine. The transition between sections is not perfect yet, but we're getting there. It does need some of this atmospheric stuff to match the energy, I would say. And listening to the section before come into our new section will help us notice what's missing. What do I need to make this section not be a letdown? And and you can hear adding this little airy instrument on top. All right, capture MIDI gonna work this time? Yes. All right. So as you can see, we literally just added some notes, but just take note real quick of the shape. The general shape here is that it's growing. Same thing with our arrangement. We're adding density as time goes on. It's one note, then it's two notes, then it's three. Suddenly it's four notes at a time, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We end up with 6 notes at a time at the end, growing in octaves. So that's gonna build energy. Whoa, we have another member? What? Thank you so much. Who is that joining the community? I have this chat extension thing that makes it so when somebody becomes a member, it puts it on a green background, but it also makes that text like unreadable. Palindrome, thank you so much for joining the community. Appreciate you. Welcome to the community. Please welcome Palindrome and our other 3 members. I think we might have hit 250. I'll check that in a minute after we get through this. But as you see, oh yeah, you get access to the emotes. Not only do you get a badge, you get some emotes. Maybe we should add some new emotes soon. I have so many competing priorities. Excited to finally join the community. We're excited to finally have you, Palindrome. But our B section is suddenly coming together, no? I think we're gonna add one new musical element. Actually, everything right now is kind of like loopy, right? Like everything is, aside from this, that just grows consistently over time. This is like a loop, a pattern. These chords are essentially a pattern. The bass line is definitely a pattern. What if we take this guitar instrument and play something that's not a pattern, something that's not a loop? Let's think about it. Kirky Beats in the chat. Kirky Beats, everybody zoom in and just take a look at that. How can I do this? Is this possible? Take a look at Kirky Beats member badge, folks. Looks do not deceive you. The top badge is the simplest. Actually, there's another badge on top of this for 2 years, but take a look at Kirky Beats badge. What button do I press? It's a beautiful quality when I zoom in like that. However, that is the moon colorway. That means Kirky Beats has literally been a member for over a year. Can we get a round of applause in chat, please? Wow. Thank you, Kirky Beats, for being a member so long. Also, don't forget, members, if you haven't used it yet this month, you have a member milestone chat, which is basically like a free super chat. So you can hit the super chat button if you have yours still this month and send a super chat if you want. Shout out. It's so amazing. And everybody who's got that Mara's colorway, the red and orange, you're close. You're close to getting the moon, I think. All right, so like I was saying, everything is kind of playing a loop and a pattern right now. Let's try to demonstrate, or let's try to include something that's less of a loop, a melodic element, but more improvisational sounding. And one thing I'm noticing too is in this A2 section, I never brought in the guitar again. So now I'm thinking about that as being a part of the ending. For the moment though, let's just record on top of this. And I might do like multiple takes. So let's see what happens. Ready? 3, 4. All right. There's some things I liked about that, some things I didn't like. The bend didn't come off very clean, and the ending pickup wasn't very strong, but we can adjust all those things. So now you see what I mean, chat? Instead of having things that are strictly a loop like this melody here, we have something that's building over time, just like this atmospheric thing, but a more melodic element that's building over time because we know we want to land at a climax of the track. It's just nice echoey guitar. Plant Powered Muscle says, I need to find out how to start making beats. By this, I mean be disciplined and actually do it. Well, Plant Powered Beats, guess what? If you have enough knowledge to start making beats, which if you spend any time on this channel or in these live streams, you definitely do, then it comes down to exactly what you said, being disciplined and actually doing it. So you don't need to find that out. You just need to do it. Like you need to exit out of my stream right now and open up Ableton Live or open up your DAW. And not with the goal of finishing a beat, not even with the goal of starting a beat that you think is going to be finished or that you think is going to be good. I want you to just open up your DAW and say, I'm just going to make a drum loop. Just make a drum loop. 4 bars. And I bet by the time you're finished making that 4-bar drum loop, you're going to be like, let me add a cool bass to that. Or let me add some chords on top of that. Let me throw a sample on this. And from there, it's a snowball effect. So beat that motivation mindset by just starting super small. You're just going to exit out of the stream and open your DAW. Then you're just going to make a 4-bar drum loop. And then take it from there. Who knows what will happen? Think about it. Yusef, thank you so much for being here. All right, let's work on this for a second. I want to adjust that pitch bend. That was a little aggressive, huh? Hi, Yarden. Honestly, the colorway that Yarden has is cool. The purple and blue. I like the colorways. I like that you get this like super simple colorway for the longest amount of time. That doesn't sound too unnatural, but we can pull it back a little bit. Just not doing what I wanted to do. Let's just hear that bend again. Not so bad. All right, that's actually not a bad pickup because again, I'm thinking about putting some guitar here. All right, so now let's just play the previous 2 bars of A1 into now our B section. So it's totally contrasting because we don't have a steady backbeat. We have different harmony in our bass line and our chords. The one thing I think we're missing is a little bit of momentum building here. And we're gonna definitely add more. We're definitely gonna add more percussive elements. Like what does it sound like if I include, oh, I wanna keep that there, but let's just move this. And again, as much as I can reuse material that we already wrote, that's what I want to do. Something bigger. Where are those like reverby hits? Is this one? Let's see. That was a weird place to start. That's like barely there, but it's there. Yeah, cool. Let's keep that there. Building up that last half. And what is this hit? It's kind of similar, but let's instead throw it here. All right. What's up, Biondiest? Biondiest, hello. Hi, Thomas Ribeiro. No worries for being late. Cheers. Thank you for watching from Portugal. Bishop said, Kirky, your music has been stellar lately. I enjoy your songs. Yes. Have you all been listening to the community Spotify playlist? It's going pretty well. I've been adding tracks kind of steadily as people submit. Oh God, something just happened. What was I gonna say? Our B section's not looking so bad, right? Oh, I'm like pushing all the wrong buttons, I think. All right, but we need more motion. And I think, let's reuse this flute thing. We're gonna introduce a new instrument in a moment. Not there yet, but that could work, right? Heard that build? I think that high note is probably a little bit too much. So let's just pull back on that a little bit. Every idea you put down doesn't have to necessarily be a good idea. But wow, we've made it this far without adding a single new instrument. So should we review what just happened with creating this B section? Because I think, oh, I don't have chat anymore. That's the problem. Give me one moment. We're going to review what we just did because I think it's super easy. Peace out, TI80 Mark. Thank you for being here. Oh, y'all are wondering about I'll talk about the community playlist in one moment, but let's just review really quickly what we just did. Actually, I'll do community playlist first, and then we will review what we just did. So adding that B section was really easy. We'll break it down one more time for those who joined late, but we have an amazing community playlist now, folks. I should have mentioned this as a member perk. So right now there's 18 songs in it, and I'm continuing to add to it because submissions are pretty much just open and rolling. Thank you for linking that, Bishop. I appreciate that. What I love about this is like any other lo-fi playlist you might put on, except it's by this community. Like it's by all producers that we know from the chat, that we know from the Discord. If you want to submit to this playlist, become a member at any tier, and there is a channel in our Discord that has a Google form in it, and you can upload your track, or you can submit your track, and they do have to be Spotify links. And this is not just like it's not everybody's music. Like there have been some people that have submitted music that are great community members, and their music is great. And I've seen them grow as producers in this community. They get better and better, but the songs don't fit this particular genre playlist. So I hope nobody takes that personally if you don't see your track make it to the playlist. But two things to look for if you're submitting music to this playlist via the Discord is, first of all, listen to it. Does your music match the general mood, the general vibe, the genre, the style of music that all these other tracks kind of have? And they all have their own style and stuff, but they all fit this sort of lo-fi chill vibe. Second thing is quality. Is your production quality level up to par with some of these tracks? We have some pretty well arranged, pretty well mixed, pretty just well written music on this, because this community has been working hard to get better and better and better. So maybe you don't fit the genre, and maybe your skills just aren't up to par yet with getting put on this playlist, and that's okay. I'm leaving the Google form in the Discord that people can continue to submit. Right now, I'm not trying to add doubles. I know some people added twice, and that's fine, but I'm not quite going to add doubles yet. Maybe by the time we get to 25 tracks, I'll start adding, not doubles, but like I know Amelia submitted a second track and explicitly said for when you're looking for more tracks and doubling up on artists. So keep all that in mind. I want to see you all submitting. That's in the Discord. So please submit. I would love. And if you're not just following this playlist, you don't even have to, be in the Discord or anything. Follow this playlist and support like independent artists rather than a bunch of random artists on a playlist, on a lo-fi playlist that, Spotify pushes. This is our community. I think that's beautiful. All right, Lo-Fi Loft, check out the playlist. And now let's get back into creating a B section and finishing our track. So that seemed like a super hard process, right? But we did that for less than an hour, maybe 40 minutes that took us, maybe less. And we created a whole B section. And how did we do that? First of all, we inserted a blank 8 bars into a space that made sense in our track. So previously, we just had this, A. And then we inserted 8 bars that we could now work in. And we started with the bass line. And in knowing that our B section is supposed to be contrasting, meaning that it's supposed to be different than our A section, distinctly different, we started that right away with our bass line. We have a descending bass line here for our A section, generally descending. You see this flourish here, don't be misled. That's just like a little embellishment flourish kind of thing, but it generally is descending. Connect these 2 dots here, these 2 dots here. That's the repeated pattern. So with our contrasting section, our B section, we decided to go ascending, meaning our bass line builds up. Doom, doom. So the starting point is here, the target note is always here. Starting note here, target note, starting note, target note, boom, boom, boom. We followed that up with taking some other elements and using them in different ways, like this atmospheric sound, which previously sounded like this, playing chords, and we then switched up to playing a shorter melody. Previously, the Rhodes instrument was playing these little sort of melodic gestures, you could say. And we took that and we turned it into playing chords instead. And then we added 3 elements that are sort of improvisational that build over time and are not loops. This one is like an atmospheric thing, pad-ish sound that builds up over time. Eventually it builds to this higher point. It's building in the amount of notes that it's playing, and it's building in its range. We did that also. Okay, how do I zoom out? We did that also with this flute sound. You see that it jumps in range, even evolving to playing 2 notes at a time, which is effective for energy. And then the main focus is probably going to be this guitar. It's playing a melody, but it's not a looping melody. It's evolving over time. Now remember, we did this with all instruments that were already in our project. Think of this like a rock band. Blink-182, they got a bassist, they got a guitar player, they got a drummer. When it comes time for them to transition from the verse to the chorus, you don't see them all go pick up other instruments. It's not like the drummer goes and grabs some congas and the bass player goes and grabs, a synthesizer and the guitar player goes and grabs a trumpet. No. Building a contrasting B section is not about changing everything. It's about taking some existing elements and doing different things with them. Appreciate that, Common Beats. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All of our skills are lacking, Bio. My skills are lacking. That's the beauty of being an artist. That's like the reality you have to face with being an artist. Our skills are always lacking. We're never going to be perfect. We're never going to be great. Well, we can strive to be great, but we can always be greater is what I mean to say. Sledgeman Guitar, hello. Thank you for being here. So you see, and remember, if you're just joining or if you were here the whole time, you were watching me struggle coming up with these ideas. And they probably didn't sound like they made a lot of sense at first. But now, when they all come together, they build to something that I think is quite beautiful. I would like to introduce one new instrument, however. Yo, Yannick, 144, welcome to VIP. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have to have hit the, we have got to have hit the 250 mark. We'll check that at the end of the stream. Welcome to VIP. So the one thing we didn't do that I would like to do is introduce a new instrument in this B section. You don't have to do this. This is totally optional. And all I did right there was duplicate labs because I want a specific labs instrument. I think I would like to introduce the handbells, which are these. Right now, there's a lot of reverb on that. Something with more of an attack. We have a lot of these washy sounds. If I do something with more of an attack, similar to the guitar actually, then it'll be a nice addition. A little delay on there. And let's see where we can add this. Thinking about the back half of this B section to build up some momentum. I might even make it more like a wind chime. Something that just kind of appears like that. Let's go from here. Whoa, I didn't mean to push that button. I didn't even realize I could do that. I meant to push this button. That's what happens when I'm playing. But I guess the purpose that I wanted to show when I was showing you my hands, I'm gonna mess with these cameras today, is that I was just like playing like these random little gestural stuff. I wasn't really playing a melody or anything. And you'll see that in the MIDI. Not everything's a melody. Not everything has to be this perfect musical idea. Some things just add to the atmosphere, and that's my goal with this instrument. And it's a new sound. I think introducing a new sound in a new section is super effective. Superman, what's good? Welcome. Superman, will I see you on Saturday? Peace out, Adel Constantine. Thank you for being here. All right, so not only does that build up in density over time, but I did also try to build up in velocity over time as well. It's not that extreme. Actually, yeah. Boom. You can see that. That slope. So now, I'm fairly happy with that. I think that could probably come up in the mix a little bit. Okay. There's a couple other things that we're going to do when it comes to musical ideas, but the first thing I want to do is when we make changes to our B section, or no, when we add things to our B section, it might dictate changes to the rest of our track. So now that we have this very strong guitar line, right? Watch what happens when we land here on the A section. This final section, which is supposed to be the peak of our track, feels like a letdown. Because if I take this now and basically go like here, it's not that different. There's a couple added elements, but it's a little bit better, but it could be even better. So what I would like to do is carry over a higher guitar line, not that high. Build on what we built here. Stay in the same range. play with range here. I'm just looking to add that energy at the top. 3. That's too high. Hi Diana, thank you for being here. I'm well, how are you? We're close. I'm gonna keep it simple. I think I know what I want to play. Let's hit record. I didn't quite hit it, chat. I gotta go one more time around. Thank you for being patient. All right, finally, chat, I think we got it. So just something like consistent and rolling. Oh, that took me way too long to figure it out, but like hopefully it's a good example for you to know that the ideas do not always just come super fast, right? I want to make sure that starts on the downbeat. This is helping again to add the energy that we built up. We built up energy here. And we also did it with these handbells, which cannot just go away here at this final section. What's the difference between live looping and what's happening now in the MIDI section? You can use that similar thing for a live looping performance. What was happening, what I was just doing was it was just recording straight through, but I could have it be recording and overlapping and things like that. This isn't the best, this arrangement looping environment is not the best for like a performance. So where were we on these bells? We were playing around here, starting that root note. Okay. So I want to just add these bell frills here. And let's try to do that carefully. Here we go. Oh, I played the wrong note. One more time. 2, 3, go. Just gonna play these. It looks like triangles in the MIDI, essentially. Have fun at work, Superman. Hope to see you Saturday. All right, yeah, that's fine. Everything we just did there is fine. But I did play a wrong note there. Let's get rid of it. Not going to quantize that at all. And the other thing about this is we never sidechained the... Oh, never mind. We got sidechained on the bells. Because even this is... Oh, sorry. Even though this is sort of like random playing-ish, not being rhythmically intact, you're not playing like straight 16th notes or 8th notes or whatever, more atmospheric, the sidechain compressor from the kick will pump the sound and give it a little more of a standard rhythmic element. Okay, let's listen back really quick to this transition from B to A. So now we got that additional bell and guitar line here. And I'm hearing like a soft piano line in my head. So let me just hold that there for a moment. But one more thing I want to show, because we've mostly just been adding musical ideas, right? We haven't done much with automation or effects yet. We should do that because that is another way you can differentiate your sections. So for instance, let's automate the high cut to be even more cut in this section, especially on the snare. We might do this on the snare individually, but let's see. So the snare is now pushed back. And let's do this with this reverb. Let's also send this to a bit more reverb. So it's not only further away EQ wise, but it's gonna be spacier. I'm just gonna really push it to the extreme to see how it sounds. What's up, Dumbo? Hello, Daniel. That's a really nice sound. What if we even did this? So then, when that snare comes back in and it's dry and bright and close, it's, again, totally different than this snare sound. But it does have me wishing, watch this. So this is, again, new ideas come out for your beat, for your composition, for your music when you start working in this process. When you're out of the loop and you're thinking linearly over time rather than just looping 8 bars. New ideas come out because now what I want to do is have essentially 2 snares here at the end for added epicness, right? This is our final section of the track, our final A section, basically our final hook or chorus. How do we make it even cooler than the A sections that came before? I think we can do that by adding a reverby snare. I might even do that by lowering the pitch, just to give it a more robust sound. And let's see if putting reverb directly on this snare track will help us with that epicness. I want a big reverb. You hear how your ear catches those bells sometimes? Push this way back. So before, without that snare. Okay, it's fine. We've heard this before though. Now add the snare. It's subtle, but it adds a lot, right? It makes it much bigger. And you know what? Kill your darlings, chat. I hate that guitar now. It's just like annoying. I think something similar. Something more gestural and melodic. All right, good. So again, what I want to do here is bring this similar energy to the guitar that happens here. So instead of it being like a boring repeated pattern, we can come up with a melody. That was terrible. Ready. Call and response. Fine. I just want to point that out. Like anytime you can have your instruments or musical ideas connect to one another. Where is it? Listen to the Rhodes there, followed by the guitar. Dun, dun, dun. It's echoing it, right? What is up, area code 911? Welcome, welcome. Thank you for tuning in from cold Winnipeg. Wow. Okay. We did that. I'm not saying. And now look, we're not even working on the B section anymore. Now we're working on making our final section even more epic. Let's go back and hear the B section. I'm thinking about adding some kick in here. Thoughts? Dum dum. All right, and here is my other change that just came to my brain. Can you explain the call and response? Very, very, very simple. Sure. Call and response, right? You can use it in a single instrument, in a melody, right? I ask a question, and then there's an answer. Call, response, right? There's like some relationship there with those two melodies. What I'm referring to here, I guess you could call it, I did call it call and response, but maybe it's more of like it's echoing, but I guess it is responding. Listen to this melody here on the Rhodes. Da, 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 da. Remember that melody? Da, da, da. Now listen to this melody on the guitar. Da, da, da. It's the same, right? But now these two instruments that are playing together on the same song, but otherwise playing like different content, are now connecting with each other. They're riffing off of each other. Solo, solo. Call and response, right? The guitar is now talking back to the keyboard. Cool. Now I added the kick. I said I was gonna do something, and then Diana said do it, but now I forgot what that thing was. Oh yeah, okay. Bass, where is it? Very effective to take something away at this last moment. So that's gonna be very effective when everything comes back in. Just dropping that bass note out. Hear how much more effective that is? Ekram, thank you for joining the chat. Yes, pick the software that the producers you like use, and then watch all their videos or watch anything about that software that you can. So if you want to do what I do, you should be getting Ableton Live. You're going to go to Ableton's website, you're going to say, wow, Ableton Live is way more expensive than all these other programs. And yep, that's your answer. However, there is a 30-day or a 90-day free trial or something. In addition to like other versions that are not super expensive that you can get started on. So don't try to cut corners, and don't try to be like, I really want to do what TAETRO does, and TAETRO uses Ableton, but I'm not going to get Ableton. Like, you're just going to start off on the wrong foot. I feel like that's what a lot of people do. They try to they want to do a thing, and then they cut all the corners around the thing, and then they get frustrated that they're not doing the thing that they want to do. Mass Polo, we do that nearly every week on this channel. So if you want to see that, go back and watch some of the other streams, or tune in on a future live stream. Today we're focusing on finishing. So now I've got Splice open, because this is another thing that I'll touch on that I haven't done at all in this track, actually, is adding these little sort of effect sounds, impacts. Like, that one's fine. A lot of these are for harder electronic styles, but we can make them work. Things that happen on the downbeat, things that happen leading up to a new section, etc. So let's roll highs off this. The other thing we'll do is put a reverb on this. Just, that was a very bright sound. So the whole point of this is to make this landing more impactful. That's obviously very, very loud, and it doesn't need to be that loud. We can also roll off the attack on that. Yeah, that sounds like it is a problem on your end, Mikey. I don't know. Even with it being like that super subtle, I think it's cool. So take that away. Here's what it sounds like. No impact. Okay, let's do that same exact thing again, but turn this on. It's subtle, but it does make that impact a little bit more dramatic. And the other thing there is to actually, that one's fine. We're going to alter it a lot. Put it on its own track. Now let's try to make a build up, so you can take any of these impacts, or you can find a riser, but you can take an impact and you can just reverse it, and now you have a cool little build up sound instead of like an impacting sound. And let's build up to that moment. No highs allowed, make it even quieter. Have a good day at the park, Mikey. That was obviously too quiet. So it just makes that moment slightly more dramatic, right? And these are things that you only do when you get to the finishing stage. What I'm doing here is turning this track completely off, so the reverb tail does not extend past this point. It's a clean stop. Extreme Kraken, thank you for stopping in. Hello, 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 my friend. All right, so just in that, like, we probably worked on this track without intro and outro for the stream or whatever. We probably worked on it for about an hour, and we already took it to the next level. I highly recommend, if you started from the middle or something, that you go from the beginning and see how we started all this. Now we have this track that was before kind of boring. It wasn't that boring. Like, a lot of lo-fi music is just kind of like A prime, like A2, whatever, like building on itself, and that's fine. It's relaxing. But adding a B section can definitely help take your track to the next level. Bunny, I'm not a doctor, so I can't 100% answer that question. Sorry that you're dealing with that, but I know musicians with tinnitus that continue on with their music. I think you just have to be careful about the levels that you listen at. I know there's musicians with significant hearing loss. Now we have a much more satisfying ending, and it's pretty much a result of that B section. Okay, but I did say I thought of one thing to add. So I duplicated that labs track. I just want to add a couple quick piano notes. Am I familiar with Akai MPC Beats? It's quite possibly one of the worst pieces of software for any musician. I don't care that it's free. I don't care that they ship it with every product that they have. That team that made MPC Beats has done more damage to the future of people's music making endeavors than I think many other pieces of worse software that have come out. Here's what it is. MPC Beats, Akai's like free like DAW thing. They ship it with every controller and every piece of Akai gear, and it is fundamentally one of the most nightmarish, hard to work with, inaccessible, need a galaxy brain to make anything in it pieces of software that anybody could have ever created. It's like they took a bunch of people that never made music before and said, here, go make a software. The problem with this is, the reason I'm like raging and ranting about this, which don't forget, we're posting a rant at the end of this stream. The reason I'm ranting about this is because whatever, you want to go make some like shitty program or something, shitty software, go ahead, go make it somewhere. But don't market it as the thing that's for beginners, the thing that's free, and the thing that comes with all of these hardware pieces that are targeted like at a lot of beginners. Because what will happen is people will buy an Akai MPK Mini, let's say, download the MPC Beats software. Great, it came with this free music making software. Load up that software, be totally clueless on what to do because it's such a shitty program that they will be like just disenfranchised from making music ever again. Like, and not all people will do that. Some people will go like, oh, will recognize like, man, this software is like trash. Let me go buy something else, or let me get a different alternative. But wow, like they have to consult me. They have to consult somebody. Literally, Akai, consult literally anybody that has made music before and put them on your software team. I'm absolutely begging you. Kick all the people from the MPC team off. People using desktop software do not want a replicated MPC workflow. And it's not even a good replication of the MPC workflow in software form. It's actually causing harm to the beginner music producer community. Please call me. I'll do a 1-hour free consulting call, Akai, on the software team. Which, by the way, I will say, Akai, some great people working there. Dude who's head of marketing, fantastic. Couple people in marketing that I've known, fantastic people. Fantastic people. But whoever's working on that software team, It needs radical change. Okay, that's the end of that rant. We're running out of time. I just want to add a piano, something like a big, long reverb tail piano. I don't even know if I want this high up the octave, I think. And I want it to come in at the end, I think. I'm leaving that in what I just played. We love capture MIDI. All right, so here at the end is the goal. Peace out, Onel. Could roll out some lows. Okay, that's all I wanted to do. Quantize this simple melody. That's what I heard in my head. Hope there's a note before that, and there it is. Mix-wise, this is a little too loud. Just a little extra spice on top of our ending there. What does the outro sound like? Carry the piano over for sure. But pull back on the velocity for the ending. So it's softer. All right, chat. We're going to go from A1 through B to A2, and you can see the progress we made. Have you used Decent Sampler? There's a free piano with it called Winter Piano, I believe, and it was created by the same guy who makes LabSoft Piano. I should check that out. Kirky, you should link that in the Discord. Do you know of any good paid or free drum beats software that you could recommend? I don't understand the question. Into the B section. Now there was really no transition from that section, which we probably need one more session to really do some fine tuning. If you guys want to do that next week, let me know if that would be entertaining. We could do like how to finish your beats part 2. Okay, this needs to be way more subtle. I just want to transition to the B section. Even if it's that quiet, that's fine. Splice. The thing that you're looking for, quick tricks, is splice. Boom, and then we're back into A. Now we got a near 3-minute long track that builds nicely and has a beautiful B section. Oh, just over 3 minutes, great. All right. How do we all feel about this? I don't think it's 100% done, but it's so much closer to being done. I think one more hour of work would take it to the next level for sure. I'm probably not going to add any more elements to this. One thing I'm trying to be more mindful of is just being simpler with my music, not overthinking, not overpopulating. Like you can see, just look at this project. A lot of unused tracks here. So let me clean those up really quick. Just get rid of all these tracks that are not being used. 25 total tracks. 3 of them are effects, so let's call that 1. Not to mention, this is drums. Call the drums 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's probably a total of 12 layers. If we count drums as 1, if we count effects as 1, and we're even counting the field recording as 1. I'm really happy with how this turned out. What did we take, chat? We took an 8-bar loop. We spread it across the timeline and created a basic arrangement, only using those musical ideas, building them up one by one, taking them away here and there, adding layers, taking away layers. Then we found a spot that made sense to insert a B section, a contrasting section, and we added a blank space there, blank 8 bars. And we started building using all the instruments we already had, but doing different things with them, contrasting. And the thing about this is, chat, coming up with a B section is not scary because you already have the answer of what to do. What I mean by that is, you know what you already did, so now you know to do the opposite. Descending bass line becomes ascending bass line. Melodic instrument turns into chordal instrument. Chordal instrument turns into melodic instrument. So it's really like the answers are there. Like there's a guide there for you already. Of course, it's not a hard and fast rule, but if you're struggling, these are places to start. Later on, as you start building this, you saw how the B section affected the actual ending of our track as well. And then look at that. Click it and ship it, right? There's a couple little fine-tuning things we could do here and there. Put some icing on the cake, but otherwise, this is really, really close to being done. Chat, we gotta post the new Rant. I have it up here, ready to go. Let me just double check, make sure it's finished processing because I uploaded it right before, I think. It's done processing. My rant about music NFTs. So that was great. I hope these tips were helpful for you to finish your tracks. Reminder to everybody that we have a community Spotify playlist that you can submit to by being a part of the Discord server. You can be a part of the Discord server by hitting the join button below the video at any tier. Please go ahead and do that. And that will also allow you to submit music to this Saturday's feedback stream. If you want to have your music played on stream and get some feedback from myself and the community on your music, click the join button, become a member, submit music, and we'll be live 12 p.m. on Saturday, reviewing your music. It will be fun, I promise. Always some good rants in there. I'm taking steps, though, to make sure there's less like me popping off on people in the chat. Gonna put something on screen that says okay, chat, I'm telling you all right now, I'm going to put a graphic on screen that will say how to submit. Join, click the join button, become a member at any tier. 2, link your YouTube account to your Discord account from within Discord. 3, post your link to your track in the Discord channel. How many people, chat, are going to still just jump in the chat, not even look at the stream, and say, how do I submit? There will be a graphic on screen. Remember, there will be a graphic on screen. How many times will somebody jump in the stream and say, how do I submit? And when they do, will you be annoyed with me when I pop off? Because it's a learning point. It's just like I need to hold people accountable. I have to, chat. And I'm sorry I do that in the form of rants and like popping off. But The whole point of it is to actually hold people accountable and help them grow. You're never going to grow if nobody ever tells you, dude, read the directions. You know what I mean? Faux Sykes, welcome. Thank you for joining the community. I want to check real quick and see if we hit 250 members. We might have, but it also might not calculate it like I don't think it updates in real time. Let's double check. Yeah, it doesn't update in real time, but I'm assuming we've hit 250 members. We shall see probably by Saturday. Thank you for all the new members today. Thank you, Fo, for joining. A lot of great support today. But chat, you know what it's time for? First of all, it's about to be time for me to get a haircut. But it's also time for, I can show this. Yeah. We got something new, chat. We got something new coming in hot. Are you going to go show up? Are you going to go? Oh, that's not zooming in like I wanted to. Oh, yeah, it is. Are you going to show up? It's about to go right now. Share it on your Twitter. Like my tweets. Like my IG posts. Slide up on my IGs. All that stuff. That's going to be it for today. Please go watch this new video rant that I am posting right now. Right now. Hope this stream helped you finish your tracks. New rant is now public. That's going to be it for me today. Go enjoy that new video, and I will see you all on Saturday. But for now, that's going to be it. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been TAETRO. Have a good one.